Hi, everybody. Welcome back. This is Chip Darnell, KZ4QS, and I'm here with another video, this one for those wanting to obtain their GMRS radio license from the FCC. Now, GMRS is a subset of the ham band. The power and the frequencies used in GMRS are such that you don't need to study in advance, pay to sit for, and take a test like you do for ham radio, but you still need to purchase a license online in order to legally transmit on the GMRS frequencies. Well, fear not. After watching this video, within a few days, you'll have your GMRS license, your call sign that you can announce when you transmit, and you'll be good to go. Let's look at some facts about the GMRS license. The cost is $35, and it's granted for a period of 10 years. 90 days before the end of the 10 years is up, you can log back into the FCC website to renew your license for free. Now, if you miss the actual expiration date, you will have to repay the $35. But if you squeeze within that 90-day window, it's free. So the license is granted for you and your family. Your family is anyone that you stipulate. Your uncles, your cousins, your grandson, whoever. They don't have to be living with you, but it's who you say are members of your family. So that's a nice relaxation of the rules, kind of, sort of. The process is a little bit nuanced because everything now is online, and the FCC is no different. But again, we're going to get this done for you. You no longer have to apply by mail to get a license. And back in the day, you would get something from the FCC that you could actually put on your wall. But nowadays, with everything online, you are entered into a database, and that tells everybody that you are in fact licensed. And if you want to, you can make up your own license on PowerPoint and display it proudly. But in the meantime, everything is online, and the FCC is no different. Again, you don't have to study for this particular test, but there are some steps that you have to go through in order to get the GMRS license. The first step is you have to apply for and obtain an FRN number, and that stands for the FCC registration number. This is your identifier to the FCC. You wait a day or two after applying for that FRN number for an email to come letting you know what that new number will be. You take that number, log into the FCC database, and at this point you can pay your $35 and wait another day or two where you will be notified that your call sign has been assigned to you. So let's get the ball rolling. For step one, we're going to do what's called registering with CORS. And CORS is an acronym for the FCC Commission Registration System. And I'll assume, for the purposes of this video, that the viewer does not yet have an FRN number. Okay, so step one is to register with FCC CORS. And let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to Google here, or any search engine, and I'm going to go ahead and enter FCC CORS login and type that into Google. I happen to have it here, so I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And the first thing that comes up here, the FCC registration login, I'm going to select that, and bango, I'm in CORS. Great. Okay, now, because you don't have an FRN number yet and you want to get one, the first thing that you need to do is register with CORS, and to do that, we need a username. And right here in the middle of the page where it says register, we're going to go ahead and click on that. And this will take us to a page that will ask us for some very basic information. The first thing that you need to do is you need to give the FCC a username. Now, that username will be a valid email address. Make sure that this is a valid, usable email address for you, because the FCC will use that username/email address for all of your correspondence. Okay, so go ahead and enter your valid email address that you can get information from the FCC on. So that will be in this first field here. The next field, you're going to confirm that. And well, let me jump up here where it says check availability. I don't understand, what they mean by that, but just anyway, disregard the check availability. Go ahead and enter your email address, enter it again, and then jump down to the password field. And they're pretty picky about this. It has to be at least 12 characters long, and actually can't include any parts of your username. You have to have a lowercase letter, an uppercase letter, one number, and one punctuation mark, like an exclamation point. Okay, write that number down. Okay, once you go ahead and pick it, and again, I said at least 12, but actually the stipulation is 12 to 15 characters long. So you might have to play with something that's rememberable until you come up with something 12 to 15 characters long and satisfy the other requirements that I just gave. Once you write that down, go ahead and confirm that, and then let's jump to the next field. This is pretty self-explanatory. Mr. Chip, middle name, Darnell, suffix, junior, or whatever it is. Your secondary email is something that you can use in case, you are unable to use your primary email for whatever reason. And that could be a spouse's email, that you have access to. Go ahead and enter after that email. Go ahead and enter your phone number, and they're going to ask you for a security question. And you can select which security question that you want to, give an answer to. Again, write down what the security question was that you selected, and go ahead and write down also your answer. When you're done filling this out, you're going to go ahead and click this blue Create Account. All right, and once you create your account, you're pretty much done with step one. Now that we have a username and password for CORS, let's go ahead and use that to obtain our FCC registration number. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to revisit that CORS page. And again, Google is your friend. Go ahead and enter FCC CORS in Google and grab the first one that comes up, and boom, you'll be taken to this page again. Remember this one? Now you're equipped with a username and password. So now you can go under username login, and you're going to enter your email address, and I'm going to do that. And the next thing you're going to do is take that 12 to 15 character password that you wrote down, enter it into the password field, and punch login. And boom, like everybody else, the FCC is going to want to know who you are. So you have a send code page here where you will be given a series of codes or a password to your email address that you provided, and then you can go ahead and unlock this login to get into CORS. So go ahead and punch send code, and they will query you for that security code. I'm going to stop the video right now for just a second while I go ahead and check my email for that code. Okay, picking up where I left off, I checked my email. The FCC has my email address because I gave them the correct email address in that first part of the video, and they sent me that login code. I entered that and click next, and here I am in the course main page, which is great. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is you want to click register new FRN number. Okay, so that's the third from the top here. Let's go ahead and click that, and let's walk through this. These questions might seem a little silly, maybe, or whatever, but anyway, this is what it is. So we're going to go ahead, and even though I already have my FRN number, I'll make believe I don't for the purposes of the video. I'm an individual. My contact address is within the United States. Yes, and I'll click continue. All right. I am going to ask for an individual FRN number. Okay, and you're going to select the first circle here for that and click continue. All right, this next page is going to ask for something that some people may not like. Again, it is what it is. I think Homeland Security has a little bit of something to do with this, but anyway, go ahead and fill in your name, middle initial, etc., etc. Suffix would be junior, or, you know, whatever, if you have one. Doing business as, you don't have to fill that out, but the red starred items are the ones that you absolutely have to put in. Okay, so you can skip these. They don't have a red asterisk in front of them. Now, they're asking for your social security number, and I gave them mine, and I think the reason for this is to make sure that Jalalabad, the terrorist, isn't trying to use the GMRS radio system. Now, heads up, people, there is not a red asterisk here at the social security number field. So if you have a problem with giving the FCC your social security number, you may not have to. I don't see a required field here, so fantastic. If you don't have a social security number at all, you know, they're going to ask you why, and go ahead and click the down arrow box here, and you can tell the FCC why you don't have an social security number, but by the way, it's not required again. Your contact information, go ahead and click the box same as above, and it will grab these fields and fill them in this middle section here. Your address will be your mailing address, and these are all required entries, except you do not have to put in your phone. I did. Fax again, etc. All right, so once you submit this, then you're all set. Okay. Now, at this point, the FCC will grab your data. They're going to check you out. Again, make sure that you're legit, however they do that. It's typically a day or so that you will receive an email from them at the email address that you give them here. And that email, you'll know because it'll say FCC. So you'll know it's from them. So go ahead and pull that up, and they will give you your FRN or FCC registration number. And armed with that, we can get into the licensing database and go ahead and apply for our call sign. And that will be coming up. I think I used the word nuanced during this video to explain this process. And this next step is why I said that. And a lot of users have complained that this page is hard to find, the one that I'm currently showing on the screen. And without going into details, the FCC has kind of buried this. And why that is, I don't know. But what I recommend is that you go ahead and you pause the video here and you grab this address, this web address right here that's in my address bar. And that is wireless2.fcc.gov/ULS entry/license manager/login.jsp. Watch the spelling on that, but go ahead and pause the video and grab that, okay? And once you have that entered into your address bar, up will pop the license manager. This is the holy grail that the FCC wants to keep under a bushel basket or whatever. But anyway, here it is. This is the page we're after. And at this point, armed with your FRN number, you're going to log in right here. Now, this is the FRN number that you just got in your email, and this is the same 12 to 15 character password that you generated earlier. Okay, so once you have those two entered into these fields, you're going to go ahead and click the submit button. And here we go. Now, I have several licenses that you can see right here. And this is the first page that will come up. Here is my GMRS license, my item number 2. I'm trying to float my mouse. There we go. My WSEJ 459 is my GMRS license. So once you get your license, you will log back into this page to see what it is, what your call sign is. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I also have my ham radio license here. I'm a licensed technician, then I got my general, then I got my advanced extra class. And with each one of those licenses, my call sign changed. As an advanced extra class operator, I could go ahead and pick mine if I wanted to. But the one they gave me, I liked. So there you have it. Okay, so in this next part, we're going to go ahead and actually apply for our call sign and pay for it. And we'll see in just a minute how we're going to go about doing that. Okay, pay attention to this next part of the video in particular, because some of these things you wouldn't know off the top of your head. I didn't. So we're on the same page that we left. And on the FCC license manager, and we know we're there from before, we're going to, on the left-hand side here, we're going to apply for a new license. So go ahead and click that. All right, now this is the part that I had no clue about, and I'm going to pass this on to you. The first thing that you want to tell the FCC is what kind of license you want. All right, and what you're going to do in this huge drop-down list that's really cryptic, you're going to go all the way to the bottom, and you're going to select General Mobile Radio GMRS. Now, the prefix for that is ZA. That's why it's at the bottom. So go ahead and in the drop-down list, select ZA. I'm going to do that. And great. Now we are going to hit the continue button. And now we have a ton of questions that I'm going to walk you through. All right. Does this filing request special temporary authorization? No. Is the applicant exempt from FCC application fees? No. Is the applicant exempt from FCC regulatory fees? No. Continue. All right. Now, this next section is self-explanatory. Your individual name, middle initial, last name, your address, and this is going to be viewable to everybody. These are all, I believe, required fields except for your fax. Okay, so go ahead and attention to, or PO box if it doesn't apply. But street address and everything else, your phone and email, go ahead and enter those and hit continue. All right, now, because I didn't fill out anything, it's going to tell me that, you know, it's not complete. So let me go ahead and cancel and just go ahead and start filling in these fields so you can see how the process goes. I'm using my autofill here, but I'm putting in James Darnell. My fields are automatically filled in, but here's my mailing address. Here is my state, my zip, my phone number, my email, and then I will hit continue. All right. Now, these questions, we'll continue with them. Have you been convicted of a felony? Well, I don't think it matters. I haven't, but you know, I don't think if you put yes that it's gonna keep you from getting your license, but it may send up a flag that they're gonna look into your background. So go ahead and hit continue. And then it's going to summarize what you just entered. Okay, so you are, and you're going to want to read this to make sure that it's okay. If it's not, like if you accidentally pushed the wrong prefix here, make sure that says ZA. These questions that you answer no to, et cetera, your address, make sure all of this is correct. Okay. Notice also here appears for the first time your total fees. Okay. Now I'm going to punch continue to certify here, taking a chance. And good. This is just telling you what you just did. What you are signing up for. And then to please sign your name and your title here at the bottom. At this point, you will hit submit your application. All right. So once you do that, the next thing is that your application has been accepted. Now we're going to go back into FCC cores and we'll go ahead and pay for the fees. I think the FCC could have made this a little bit more user-friendly and paid for the fees or given you a link after you got your FRN number and just made that easy. But this is, like I said, it's a little bit hoop jumping, as it were. So again, Google's your friend. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to enter into Google or your favorite search engine, FCC Cores Login. All right. And I had that auto-filled out because I've done it a million times. And up will pop the FCC Cores site. Go ahead and grab the first one that Google gave you. And let's see where it takes us. All right. Now, we have to pay our fees, and this should be kind of familiar to you because we've been on this page once before. Go ahead and enter your email address, your 12 to 15 character password that you wrote down at the beginning of this video, log in, and it will ask you to have a code to verify who you are. And we are going to go ahead and do that. Again, I'll stop the video so I can get the code, and we'll jump to the next point in the video after I do this. Okay, you verified your login attempt via your email, gave the FCC the code that they sent you, and now you're back into CORS. And at this point, you're going to select the second option here, which is to manage existing FRNs. Well, we just got our FRN. Great. And we want to pay our fee. So the second option here, this whole part right here, we're going to go ahead and we're going to click on that. And they're telling you to basically pay your money to the FCC, and you know, in so doing, you are responsible, et cetera, et cetera. All right. So in this case, after you read this little disclaimer here, we are going to select FRN Financial, and what that will do is that will go ahead and launch the page in order to pay your fee. Okay, so once you click on that, you'll find yourself here in FRN Financial. If you have a green light, and I guess that means that if you're not, you know, a terrorist or somehow associated with Chip Darnell, which would be a bad thing, it may give you a red light. But okay, we have a green light. If it is red, it's probably more of a backed up status. You know, in other words, give us a little bit of time. Something's holding up your paperwork. Okay, so wait for this green light status here. Okay. Quite frankly, I never had a red light, so, you know, I don't even know what that would be indicative of. But what you're going to do is, when you have the green light, go ahead and hit View Make Payments, and there are not any results here for me, okay, because I don't have anything, because I've already paid mine. Unfortunately, I can't make a payment because I don't owe anything, but you will. So when you select the Make a Payment button, you will be taken to a screen where you can go ahead and I believe that I don't know if they take PayPal, but they do take major credit cards to pay your $35 fee. I cannot access that page because I don't owe anything. So this part you are on your own with as far as making your payment. And once you have finished that, then go ahead and just do a screen grab of it so you have proof of it. And you're all set. At that point, you have obtained your FRN number. You have requested a call sign. You have paid your $35, and the only thing now that you are waiting on is an FCC email that will let you know that your process has been completed, at which point you will be granted your GMRS call sign. Fantastic. You're done. So I hope this video was helpful to you, that it allowed you to see some of the steps in getting the GMRS license. A little bit more involved than, you know, I would like, but the good news is that now that you have your GMRS license, you're in the FCC database, and going on studying for obtaining your ham radio license, you don't have to go through some of those steps again. You already have an FRN number, so you're good to go. Y'all take care, and I hope to hear you on the air. This is KZ4QS, Over and out.